Hi there, Belvidere High School. I'm Mikah. With us today is Dominic Miroballi. He's here to talk to us about his norm, which is art design. So why don't you tell us about that?
I create art on a computer using a program called Paint Tool Sci. It's used using a graphics tablet, which I use a Wacom one. It's pretty much all like a full-on thing that you do on a canvas, so like full-on hand-drawn everything. It's just done with a tablet and a computer. And I do a slight combination of anime with the furry or anthropomorphic art style.
Now, art, that's not something much talked about in entertainment. It's usually like acting or filming, something like that. There's not much talk of art in that. So what kind of like made you think, ooh, I want to pursue that?
What really got me into it was when I was younger, I'd always done it, and eventually I got into anime, and I started watching it, and I'm like, I want to animate. And that's where I started going with drawing, and I started trying to think of that, and started to think of like characters. I like to build characters. Like I have like, in the ones I've created, I have probably 50 some characters. And I like to keep that in mind. I want to do comics and animation stuff, and really when I got into the anime stuff, I'm like, this looks like it'll be fun. And recently I've tried animating slightly.
And how's that worked out?
It's worked out fine. It's mainly just test rigging stuff, so it's like sketches where all you see is like slight movement or something like that, just so that you can see how the animation progress goes.
You mentioned comic books. You said like this is about art and animation, but have you ever tried pursuing that? Really tried like making a comic book?
I am in the process of trying to make a webcomic.
Is it difficult?
It is. I started it, I made the cover, and then I made the first page, and then I'm like, I don't like it, and started over again.
I'm sure it's time consuming.
Yeah, having to think out and having decide whether you're going to pursue one character in it or multiple different stories within one comic.
It's very, well, I mean, that's really, really cool. I mean, I really hats off to you, man, because I can never put myself in a place where I could do that because it's all so complicated to me. How old were you when you really wanted to pursue this and go after it?
I think it was 2013 when I really started doing the digital art aspect, so it would be 14 or 13, and I started that, and originally I was doing it with a friend because I didn't know how to draw on my own on the computer yet, so they would sketch things for me and I would line art it and color it in for them and stuff like that. They were just helping me learn it, and then I got a new program later on, and I got a tablet, and I started working from there on my own. And now I have what I do now.
Do you still work with a partner or someone that kind of like a co-writer?
Well, not for what I'm doing now when it comes to me wanting to make the comic. Originally they were going to co-write it with me, but they didn't want to do it anymore. They got distracted by other things. So things just went differently, so I started working on it on my own, but I do collaborate with people, and the thing about digital art that's neat is you can collaborate with people from all over the world. I have a picture that's a collaboration between me and somebody who I met on the internet from France.
Yeah, how is it?
It's neat to see that you can connect with someone that far away and create a piece of art.
It's interesting, yeah. With what are your friends? How do they support you?
Yeah, a lot of them are supportive with, they'll give me tips on art, and they're all okay with the style that I choose. Because they don't care if I'm into some weird stuff or if I just like normal art.
And how fond are you about keeping it secret? Are you something who's not afraid to tell people about it, or are you more of oh, I'll just let you know I'll do this, but I don't like showing people it?
Well, when it came down to it, sophomore year, I was just freaked out. I'm like, people are gonna judge me for it. And then by the end of that year, I'm like, I just don't care anymore. I want to be who I am.
You shouldn't have to hide anything, and it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
You love certain things other people don't. For example, I love filmmaking. Other kids, sports people, not bashing sports or anything, they might not have the same understanding of what I am passionate about. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. Just embrace it, kind of not brag about it, but just not be afraid to tell people.
Yeah.
What do you plan to do after high school? Are you planning to go into college of some sorts for this kind of stuff, or minor in it, major in it? What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about what college to go to still at the time, as I am only a junior. But I do plan to go to college for at least animation.
And what kind of industry are you trying to get into? film, television, comic books, anime? What kind of?
Well, I'd say film is probably one of the bigger ones, but I do either that, but it's kind of something with me is I like 2D animation. All films are going to 3D now, so when people see that, they're like, you gotta do 3D when you hear animation instead of 2D. And I want to stick with that 2D because I think it looks, they both are great. I just think the time and effort put into drawing out each frame of an animation just feels more like it connects with the person who made it.
I mean, it's an interesting concept, 2D. I mean, what you could do is you could be original and kind of in a world of 3D, bring a 2D aspect to it and really show that, you know, you're passionate about it and bring a different kind of view on it. Are you at any point in the future trying, is there something else you want to try in the animation department? Like something else you're like, oh, at one point I want to try that.
I do want to try 3D animation just to see how it is. I've seen like a lot of things and people are trying to make 2D and 3D closer. Like there's now 2D bone structure animation. I don't like the way it looks. The only thing I've seen that I really liked that used it is South Park, but that's because they're not very detailed animation. It's like twitching.
Are there any places people can go right now to see some of your work?
Currently, until I set up a Facebook page for it, there is a piece at the Rock Valley College show. And sometimes, well actually right now, I don't know if it's going to be there by the time this is up, but in the hallway, one of the glass cases, it's from the math hallway straight that way, one of the glass cases has a piece of mine in it.
That's interesting. Belvidere High School, thank you so much for watching our newest edition in the MYNORM series with our guest, Dominic Miroballi.
I'm Dominic Miroballi. My norm is digital art. What's your norm?
And he loves Masacholi.